A terrific environment, the Gallowgate end, full of black and white, as Newcastle and Arsenal prepare to do battle in the second leg. What a scene that is. The Arsenal fans, by the way, will be tucked high in the upper tier of that stand behind the goal, a long, long way up. But a lot of them have made what is a long, long journey up country to Tyneside. And the players will just be feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous at this stage. Adrian gives a little bit of insight into what that is like in a semi-final. When you're in the tunnel, you can hear all this coming down, milking down the tunnel, and you know that you're about to do a really serious job of work.
Yeah, it's always a fine line. You want to soak up the occasion, soak up the atmosphere, but you know you've got a job to do. You know that place in the final, that's where you want to be. You want to have a chance of lifting silverware and getting to the real big occasion. But like you just mentioned there, walking out, seeing the crowd, feeling that energy, you know, whether you're the home side, the away side, you know, you really want to tap into that and just try and bring your best on the day.
Well, I guess this atmosphere, this stadium can either inspire or terrify. It'll certainly inspire the home fans. And the protagonists meet with black and white everywhere you look. The colours of Newcastle United, who were absolutely brilliant at the Emirates in the first leg a month ago. They were good value for that 2-0 lead. Alexander Isak in particular, there he is, was very, very hot that night, and Arsenal found him hard to deal with. Well, the referee is Simon Hooper. He's assisted by Adrian Holmes and Simon Long. Thomas Bramall is the fourth official, and we do have VAR at this stage of the tournament. So let's have a look at the starting lineup, shall we? Then starting with Newcastle, Eddie Howe making a couple of changes to the side, which lost here to Fulham at the weekend. And it looks very much like a change of formation to a 3-4-3. Joe Linton has dropped out completely. He's got a knee injury. Livramento moves to the bench. So in come Kieran Trippier and Sven Botman. And by the way, Callum Wilson, who has been out since early December, is on the bench for Newcastle this evening. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta sticks with exactly the same 11 which beat Manchester City on Sunday at the Emirates, so they're looking to ride the wave of that result all the way to Wembley. Arsenal lost here at St James's Park back in November. 9 of this starting 11 started that game as well. So the big guns are all out there. It's a big atmosphere and a huge challenge for Arsenal to overturn a 2-goal deficit. And there is Isak up front for Newcastle. I mean, it's a club, when you think about Newcastle, Adrian, you know, they're built on number 9s, going way back to Jackie Milburn and then Malcolm McDonald and Alan Shearer, of course. And he is just been sensational this season, Isak.
He is, and he's filling those boots, and you can just see the confidence there. He's talking in the team talk. He feels very much a leader in that team. He's leading the line, and he's doing it so well. He just seems to keep getting better and better. And it's showing in his performance, it's showing in how many goals he scored, and he's a real threat. And, you know, a game like tonight, the Arsenal back four will definitely be weary of him.
Oh, Mikel Arteta has been in charge just over 5 years now, and don't get me wrong, he's done a brilliant job transforming Arsenal from relative also-rans into title contenders. However, he has only won 1 trophy in that 5 years. Newcastle would take 1 trophy in 5 years, that's for sure. Look at that, the passion. Well, if you get bored of occasions like this, then you're bored of football, because this is right up there with the best that the sport has to offer. And the referee, Simon Hooper, blows his whistle. It's Arsenal who get the game underway in red and white, of course, kicking from left to right as we look at it, and they get an early free kick as well. Just a little pull by Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, he's had a little tug there. Probably unnecessary so early on in the game. Won't want to concede, you know, a set piece, 30 seconds into the game. Just allows Arsenal to build a bit of pressure, build a bit of momentum, territory high up on the pitch.
Arguably the best side in the country at attacking set pieces. Declan Rice is going to take this. It's the usual Arsenal routine. In it goes, and it's headed clear, and Arsenal will settle for a corner kick. Isak maybe feeling he was being held. But it's a good start by Arsenal. Free kick, then a corner. Pressure on Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely a good start, Arsenal. This is what they would have wanted. Consecutive set pieces, especially where they're so strong from these corners. Gabriel definitely be licking his lips here.
Well, an early goal is what Arsenal are looking for in this second leg. Declan Rice plays the corner kick short. Martinelli with a little jab into the penalty area. Bruno Guimaraes made the block, and Murphy strides forward here for Newcastle. A good run too, and Martinelli has fouled him. I'd be surprised if the card comes out for Martinelli, but Simon Hooper's just going to lay down a boundary here, I think.
Yeah, just a little talking to. I can't imagine he wants to get his cards out yet. It's, early in the game. It's a semi-final, so I imagine the emotion's going to be running high anyway. But it's just great play from Jacob Murphy, just getting the team up the pitch straight away from that little bit of pressure. Just relieves it for the team. Now they've got a set piece in the final third as well now.
Such an improved player, Murphy. Hall and Gordon over this set piece. Gordon's going to leave it for the left back. A seven-man red and white defensive wall. Tonali with the ball into the area. Only flicked away by Rice to Trippier. Here's Kieran Trippier again. That's a bit too deep. In fact, it's a lot too deep. And there's a foul anyway against Isak inside the penalty area.
Both teams so far just working training ground routines on their set pieces. No one keen to just put the ball in the box at the moment. Just trying to catch each other off guard.
It's such an old cliche in football that the first goal is all important, but when the tie is at 2-0, the first goal in the second leg really is all important, and this could be it. Isak, 1-0 Newcastle. Well, you knew he'd finish it. The bar is set pretty high in the quality of strikers in the Premier League, but Isak is right up there, and he was never going to miss that. Newcastle lead by 1-0 on the night, and by 3-0 on aggregate.
It just had to be that man, didn't it? David Raya with a long ball up top. Burn does really well to win that first ball, but Isak just there, playing on the shoulder of the defence, just giving him space in behind. It looked like a close call, but it looks like he timed his run to perfection. And the finish, that's a man that is in complete confidence. Just side puts it straight into the top corner. An accomplished finish. And he just stands there taking all the plaudits, and rightly so. We mentioned number 9s early on.
Yeah,
he really is filling those shoes.
Oh, look at the reaction from Eddie Howe. Well, the VAR will be doing its work and checking away. The question is, I think that really intelligent little step towards the halfway line from Isak just might have got in the right side of Saliba.
It looks like a close one. We never know with this, because sometimes it could just be a little shoulder that's just keeping you on or offside. But he looks, like you just mentioned there, he just got himself, it looked like he got himself back on side and just curved his run. If you're going to give him that space in behind, you know he's going to try and exploit it.
Well, high drama. John Brooks is the video assistant referee, and this is obviously a very close call, because it's taking a while. Could just be the shoulder of Isak. He got his feet back behind Saliba, but his shoulder might have been leaning into an offside position, and it's not going to count.
After review, the goal scorer, Newcastle, number 14, is in an offside position. The restart is indirect free kick for offside.
Well, there we go. That's one of the new initiatives at this stage of the Carabao Cup, being able to hear the referee's decision. Offside. Chalked out. That was tight.
Well, that is one thing with VAR. There's no grey areas. It could be, you know, the slightest bit, but offside's offside. And
yeah.
But the finish, got to applaud it.
Oh,
saw the space in behind, and he'll be looking to exploit that if Arsenal are going to give him that space, you know, for this game.
So maybe a stroke of good fortune for Arsenal. I mean, we believe the lines. He was offside, but it was very, very close. And 3-0 would feel a good deal different from 2. Well, it was, for a moment, looking like his 20th goal of the season. Lewis Skelly is getting a talking to from Simon Hooper.
We're only 7 minutes in, and it feels like so much has happened already in this game. And
Odegaard's going to take this free kick for the visitors. Taking it short, actually, to Declan Rice. Slight change of script. Trossard trying to squeeze it back into Rice. And a corner has been prevented by Trippier. I think that's gone straight out of play. Kai Havertz, the intended target for that. Such a good defender, Botman. I think it's been, he's obviously had an injury hit season, and it makes a huge difference, I think, to have him back in.
yeah, certainly. And Newcastle, you know, they're blessed with some really good defenders. I like, you know, all 3 of their centre-halves that are playing today, but Botman just complements that back line so well. You can tell he's one of the leaders back there. He dictates the line. You know, he really is one of the big players for Newcastle.
Dubravka then in goal, keeping Pope out of the side. Still, Pope is fit again, by the way, but on the bench. Thomas Partey with a header. And a collision between Gordon and Partey. Partey is saying there's nothing in it. Simon Hooper doesn't agree. Yeah, Simon Hooper's going to be a bit busy tonight, I think.
He is. I was just about to say he's having a word again. He just wants to try and get control of the game again. You know, Partey just leans in with his shoulder to Gordon. Looks like he just catches him in the back, and Gordon, clever, just goes down, buys the free kick.
In a very similar position to the one that he took 4 or 5 minutes ago. Taken by Lewis Hall, dropping and cleared by Odegaard on the edge of the penalty area. His Trippier. Well, it's a hugely enjoyable first 10 minutes.
It is. There's been plenty of action. Somewhat been a game of set pieces as well, but you can see the intent from both sides here. No one's sitting back. You know, they both want to come out here, stamp their authority on the game. Great from a neutral perspective.
In this long unbeaten run of Arsenal's, Newcastle are the only side to have beaten them. That's a 22-game run in which they've only lost once in normal circumstances. They lost a FA Cup shootout to Manchester United, of course, but that aside, it's Newcastle and only Newcastle who've got the better of Mikel Arteta's side of late. That's a free kick. There was a little touch, I think.
Yeah, there was enough contact to win the free kick there, but Gabriel looked like he had a big touch there, so thankful that he did get a little clip there. But this game really has started electric.
Arsenal's free kick taken by Gabriel. Nodded infield by Havertz. Tonali with the clearance. Saliba with a bit of a slice. David Raya's starting position was good, but he sliced it as well. And Anthony Gordon is scrapping for it here, and he's fouled Timber. That'll be a free kick to Arsenal. Another set piece. It's frantic. Rice being put under pressure. And Newcastle's reward is a throw-in. I think that was Fabian Schär who was way up the field putting pressure on Rice.
Well, there were questions asked of how Newcastle might approach this game. Would they sit back and try and just defend their 2-goal lead, or would they come out here and, you know, suggested that the crowd wouldn't let them sit back, and they definitely haven't started that way.
It's miscontrol by Trossard. Kai Havertz here for Arsenal. Lewis Skelly. Odegaard put under pressure by Bruno Guimaraes. Timber. And Gabriel. Partey was knocked over. Arsenal have the ball anyway. Simon Hooper says play on. That's a clever little ball from Odegaard into Kai Havertz, off to Timber. Trossard popping up right-hand side. Martinelli's inside the penalty area. Dan Burns' clearance deflecting to Tonali. It's come back to Arsenal's Leandro Trossard. Partey, who scored a deflected effort from outside the box against City at the weekend. Lewis Skelly, and touch back to goalkeeper Dubravka. What did you make of his celebration against Manchester City on Sunday? You know, the background to it is Erling Haaland in the first meeting had said, "Who are you?" And he did the old Zen goal-scoring celebration, having scored against them at the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Obviously, he remembered what Haaland, I think, said to him earlier on in the season. And you know, you want that little bit of competitive spirit. You know, no harm done, I think, by it, and need that little bit of banter in the game, I think, as well.
Well, at 18 years old, it certainly shows he has character and confidence. Some goal, though. Gabriel's forward ball, a little bit of strain. Dan Burn has fed it into Bruno Guimaraes, and here's Anthony Gordon. Gordon, who's been full of bright ideas this season for Newcastle, just lost out to Odegaard. Timber's forward ball, that's good play from Lewis Hall to slide it into the path of Botman. Nicely done, Bruno Guimaraes. Hall at the back post. Impossible angle, really.
game just starting to settle down a little bit more now. Arsenal with a few good bits of play.
Burn with a turn which nearly went wrong. And Dubravka being put under pressure. David Raya's saves against Manchester City almost forgotten in the excitement of the goals, but they played a big part in that win for Arsenal at the weekend. Made a brilliant save from close range header from a corner to deny Joško Gvardiol.
Yeah, the reactions were just, you know, they were world class. That was a top save, and just shows he's been an integral part of what Arsenal have tried to do recently with the success they've had. You know, their runs in the league, and, you know, saves like that. Like you said, they sometimes go unnoticed with all the other headline stories, especially the young gunners getting all the headlines, but, you know, a massive part of the team, David Raya.
It was greeted with some shock when he replaced Aaron Ramsdale in the side at Goodison Park, I remember it was. But it's a decision which Mikel Arteta made and has been fully justified. That's deflected through to the Spanish keeper.
Yeah, I definitely think more attention was drawn to the situation when, you know, Arteta mentioned having two #1 keepers and then battling it out, because, you know, I think keepers need to feel #1. They need to know that they're playing every week unless they're injured or a serious loss of form. So, but yeah, like I said, he's been such a massive part of Mikel Arteta's team.
It's deflected into Trossard, who's trying to find space where there really isn't any. Bruno Guimaraes forcing him to retreat slightly. Here's Timber. That's a good ball though for Ødegaard, and the layoff back to Martin Ødegaard. Classic Arsenal inside the area. Great block by Botman.
Terrific block there. You can just see every Newcastle player had to get back behind the ball there. Great patient build-up from Arsenal. A little slip from Guimaraes there as well, which Ødegaard nearly took advantage of.
Lovely flick into Martinelli. Goodness me. Well, Ødegaard inside the area. It was a lovely little ball into Martinelli, who was absolutely flattened right on the edge of the penalty area.
Great play again from Arsenal, but a little bit fortunate how it comes about. But falling there to Ødegaard, even on his weaker side, you expect him to at least make the keeper work.
Just brushed the post, didn't it? That's a foul, but advantage was played, and Ødegaard should have taken it, really.
Yeah, a player of his quality, definitely expecting, at worst, to make the keeper make a save, but...
Oh, Gordon into Isak. Oh, and he's hit the post as well, and Murphy scores from the follow-up. And this one surely will stand. What a brilliant finish by Murphy. That is not easy. Isak smashed the woodwork, and Murphy kept his head and stroked it into the back of the Arsenal net. And having had one disallowed very early on for offside, and having seen Martin Ødegaard hit the post with a big chance seconds ago, Jacob Murphy scores.
And you just see there, like I said, Ødegaard hitting the wrong side of the post. Isak looking to get in behind. It's one ball straight down the middle. Arsenal don't deal with it. Isak gets on his bike in behind. He's so quick. Only one thing in his mind. Great connection this time. Falls kindly back off the post for Newcastle. Back into Murphy's path. Like I said, it's bouncing. It's not an easy finish, but all he has to do is direct it towards goal. And he keeps his composure, hits the target. Newcastle extend their lead, but Arsenal will be ruining that chance at the other end.
Absolute delight. Bedlam around St James's Park. They are 3-0 up on aggregate. That is a really good finish. Isak actually won the first header, didn't he? Then took the return. You saw with the camera angle from behind the goal, the bend he got in the shot, cannoning off the woodwork. Murphy still had some work to do. Arsenal are in big trouble here now.
Yeah, they need to get their composure back.
Martinelli's ball in. Whoa, important touch. Declan Rice was steaming in. Botman got a little glance on it. Here's Lewis Skelly, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, and Gordon with the block. And now Newcastle look to break and exploit that pace of Isak again. Gordon is to Tonali's left. Here is Anthony Gordon. Little bump from Saliba was a good one.
Oh, terrific defending from Saliba there. The two centre-halves were 3v2. He made sure the play went outside him, showed his pace, showed his strength and composure there to win the ball back. The last thing Arsenal would have needed there was to concede another goal. The game really would have gotten away from them then.
Pace of the game is brilliant. Odegaard's shot is wide and there's no deflection. Well, it is end-to-end, 100-mile-an-hour stuff. And Arsenal have to somehow reduce now a 3-goal deficit. That's the confirmation of the offside for the goal that didn't count.
And you can see just how close it is there. Stevie mentioned how well Isak does there on the first one. But his pace in behind. If you leave him any space in behind, he will look to exploit it. He's got the pace to get away from people, but just calm finish. Fortunate with how the ball comes back off the post. But then a great finish from Murphy as well.
Here's Gabriel Martinelli. Little nutmeg on Burn, but it's well covered by Hall. Straight to Odegaard though. Kai Havertz can knock it square. It's a good save by Dubravka. Really big save to deny Trossard.
Terrific save because it comes through legs there as well. He had to get down very quickly. It was a poor clearance. Arsenal looked to capitalise and it just goes through. I think Shah's legs there. Smart save down to his right.
Yeah, head in the hands moment for Arsenal again. Really good stop. Odegaard with the near post corner, and that's headed behind by Trippier for another.
Newcastle do have some real height in their area to head these balls away. Trippier with a good header away there. But you're just looking at them, Burn, Shah, Botman.
Lewis Skelly on his toes as Odegaard delivers this corner kick right into the mix. And that will be another one. I think that one came off Botman, actually. Trippier trying to organise things.
Yeah, they do well to clear it, but the deliveries from Odegaard are superb. They just make it so hard to clear when he's just whipping them in straight under the bar. All it needs is one person to nick it, and you're scoring a goal.
Someone trod on Dubravka's boot. Could have been anyone, in all honesty. Well, that is Nick Pope warming up, sub-keeper, as Odegaard takes the corner kick right into the mix again, and I think Trippier hoiked it away. Anthony Gordon has bumped Lewis Skelly over for a free kick, which Arsenal have tried to take too quickly. There's an awful lot going on for the ref, isn't it?
There is, and he's trying his hardest to keep it calm and keep it contained in there. He doesn't want to be getting out his cards. just there, Gordon. If he doesn't give away the foul, it's a tough one for Lewis Kelly to deal with. You know, it's bouncing in front of him. Just giving Arsenal another opportunity to work something which they've practiced on the training ground.
Saliba, Declan Rice. Bent in from Ødegaard. Well, they could do with equalising on the night sooner rather than later. 3 goals is a big ask. Dubravka has a real issue here. Left boot is the problem. If you get trodden on the top, on the laces there, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that'll be a sore one. He's gesturing. I think he wants someone to come on, or... But I don't know, maybe it's just one that he can just get through, kind of have a few big deep breaths, what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And kind of get through it, just trying to buy the team a little bit of time, take a little bit of pressure away.
Well, also just a little pause in momentum, Arsenal's momentum, and they have it at the moment. It's not a bad idea. Nick Pope hasn't played a game for Newcastle since the first weekend in December. Here's Ødegaard. Tonali's header. Forward by Saliba. Havertz making a nuisance of himself. Ødegaard forward, Havertz again. That should go back to the keeper, and it does. Well, Newcastle might not have won anything for a long time, but they have fairly recent history of reaching Wembley in this competition. Back in 2023, they lost to Manchester United in the final. It's slightly overhit by Gordon. And they had to play Loris Karius in the final. You may remember Nick Pope was injured, and Dubravka had played 2 games for Manchester United in a loan spell, including in this competition, and was cup-tied for the final. It was Loris Karius' one and only game for Newcastle. They lost it 2-0, not pointing the finger at him, but they did.
That is a good quiz question for years to come, I think.
Yeah, Dubravka would have been desperately upset to miss the final. Could make amends. Martinelli blocked by Hall.
Newcastle just happy to sit in their low block at the moment and just wait on the counter. Arsenal trying to find a way through, but Newcastle defended it very, very well so far.
Timber, Martinelli. Deep cross, Trippier away. Lewis Kelly to collect. Saliba. Partey. And a mistake by Martinelli. Well, we're approaching the half-hour mark, and Newcastle will be delighted to be a goal up. But is there just a feeling that since they scored that goal, they've just retreated a little bit? We were saying it 0-0, they have to attack the game and, you know, forget about the 2-0 advantage. But now their noses are in front in the second leg as well. They're just inviting Arsenal onto them a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's always something that naturally happens anyway, but obviously their shape, they're playing, they've got 5 defenders on the pitch, they've got a 5-4-1, they've got pace in Isak at the top and Gordon, so if they do have to sit into that low block, they know they've got the pace on the counter as well. I'm sure that's something that, you know, Eddie Howe would have had in mind anyway.
Ødegaard off the pitch at the moment. Gabriel for Partey. Ødegaard's back on, as you can see. Partey almost caught by Anthony Gordon. Bruno Guimaraes. Murphy and Trippier sprinting to his right-hand side. Gabriel would appear to have it covered, but he's got two to deal with, and Trippier with a bit of contact. Gabriel went down too easily for Trippier's liking, and then Gabriel gets up and shrugs him off, and Trippier wisely, he's been around the block long enough to know that his best place is to get away from this.
Yeah, just a nice bit of fire to the game. It's a big game, it's a cup game, so naturally tempers might flare like that, but once again, brilliant defending from Gabriel. Him and Saliba are going to have to do that at times. You know, they're going to need to defend that space behind them, especially with them pushing so high up.
Havertz with a misplaced pass. Hall trying to knock it between Saliba and Gabriel, but David Raya was there for Arsenal. Bit of a hoik from Havertz. Partey for Odegaard, well tidied up by Bruno Guimaraes, who just appeared out of nowhere. Well, the pass demanded that Gordon go forward. And Timbers won it and pirouetted nicely. Lewis Skelly had made a run from left back. Rice goes the other way instead. Odegaard, Martinelli into Dan Burn, Tonali to Gordon. A slip from Gabriel, and Isak is onto it, and then he can't find Murphy, who was just caught on his heels slightly, and here's Thomas Partey. Havertz will do well to keep that in, and he can't.
Yeah, brilliant defending once again from Newcastle in that low block. Arsenal just searching for a way through. At the moment, everything's coming out wide, which they're getting wide and crossing the ball. Newcastle dealing with it. Everything that's come down the middle. The only thing that has come through so far is something that was fortunate. You know, the tackle from Dan Burn that spilled to Odegaard. Newcastle very happy in that low block.
Joel Linton, the fan, tonight with a scarf around his neck. Problem with his knee, keeping him out of proceedings at the moment. Sandro Tonali. Partey though for Arsenal. Good header that. Isak adds a clever ball into Gordon. Has to go and fetch it though. Sandro Tonali. Bruno Guimaraes, and they get a throw-in out of it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit early for the showboating, but you can see the confidence Newcastle playing with. But Isak again, anything that is played direct up to him, even if he's not winning it, he's just not allowing the Arsenal centre-halves to win it. He's just being a real nuisance up there, which is allowing Newcastle to get up the pitch. They're just really frustrating Arsenal at the moment.
And we're approaching the last 10 minutes of what's been a really, really good first half. Lewis Hall to take this free kick. Sven Botman has joined Dan Byrne on the edge of the penalty area. No one taller than Byrne in there. Hall's delivery. Little nod down, dangerous. Fabian Schär was waving his left boot at it. He thinks it should have been a corner. He's not going to get it though. Lewis Skelly with a really good turn away from Murphy. Havertz running ahead of him. Martinelli is inside the penalty area now, but not there. And that's a Newcastle throw-in, much to the delight of the home fans.
Yeah, it was a poor ball in there. One of the few times that Arsenal's been able just to get in behind that Newcastle defence. But the ball in's got to come in with a bit more quality there.
Well, they're going to be forced into an early change here, Arsenal, which is less than ideal.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Martinelli looks like he's holding his hamstring there, and
yeah,
he doesn't look happy.
Nwaneri's getting himself ready, but Gabriel Martinelli looks very much like his game is up here.
Yeah, when you go down with your hamstring, it's not one you can usually run off.
So there we are. Martinelli has lasted 36 minutes of this game, and Ethan Nwaneri, who scored a fabulous goal on Sunday against Manchester City with the last kick of the game, comes on. He's developing a knack. He's scored 7 times this season already.
He has become a real impact player for Arsenal, and you know, he offers something totally different to Martinelli, and maybe that's what Arsenal need right now, just something different to try and unlock that Newcastle defence. You know, he's on that right side, he'll be cutting back in, trying to whip those balls, whip those shots on his left foot. Going round the outside at the moment hasn't really worked. You know, those 3 big centre-halves so far, just heading everything away, so...
Saka's still out with a hamstring injury, of course, and Sterling sitting on the bench still. Here's Havertz. Well shielded by Botman.
That's it, there are just so many bodies in that central area for Newcastle.
Timber's header. It looked for a moment as though he was going to overdo that, but keeps it safe.
Yeah, nice and calm from Arsenal just to get out of pressure there, and this is what they need to do, just to settle back down. But once again, you can just see Newcastle, just everyone behind the ball. You know, they would have prepped for this. They would have prepped for if they do go a goal up. Happy to sit in that low block and counter.
Rice and Saliba. Ethan Nwaneri. Little deflection off Hall. Tonali to head clear to Anthony Gordon. Swept up by Saliba, and Timber, his control just letting him down.
Yeah, just gets stuck under his feet, but kills the momentum. A little respite for that Newcastle low block, those Newcastle defenders. They're just taking their time now, just trying to take the sting out of it as it's leading into half-time.
Newcastle hoping to reach the League Cup final for only the 3rd time in their history. It's a trophy they've never won. Nwaneri took it away from Hall, but it's a bit deep.
Yeah, Lewis Hall just makes sure he stands up there, but Gordon, this is terrific play from him, just doubling up. They'll be aware that Nwaneri wants to come in on his left foot. He's so dangerous when he comes inside. You know, when he's crossing the ball, he's got assists. But that left foot, you know, he likes to get his shots away. We already mentioned the impact he's already made, but, you know, Gordon, aware of his defensive duties there.
Kieran Trippier's not been short of a word or two during the course of this evening.
Yeah, he's pumped up, as he should be.
Into the last 5 minutes of the first half, it's going Newcastle's way at the moment. It feels like a really big deficit, and if it was anyone other than a side of the quality of Arsenal, you might say this semi-final is done, but as we know, Arsenal are capable of unleashing a goal-scoring flurry. They'd love one before half-time, though. It would give them a real platform.
They are, but they need to come up with something here just to try and unlock this Newcastle defence. It stood resolute so far.
Ranieri, Timber, Ødegaard. Trossard thought there was a little gap between Murphy and Trippier. Didn't quite work for him. It's a foul by a slightly frustrated maybe Kai Havertz.
Just that frustration, and it's a silly foul as well. To give away a foul and a booking when the other team are on their goal line, it's silly from him. Just needs to keep his emotions intact. The team's going to need him.
Well, Bruno is going to be okay.
Smart play from him. He read Havertz's body language coming to him, bought the free kick. You know, it's great composure in the first place, but he just buys a free kick, gets his body across. Silly one to give away from Havertz.
Strong header by Lewis Skelly, but it's a Newcastle throw-in. 2 minutes plus added time. If they can get through to half-time with a 3-goal aggregate lead. Well, he won't, but some of the Newcastle fans might just start their travel planning for northwest London. Gordon looked like he was being pulled back, and Saliba is the culprit, and Saliba becomes the second Arsenal player to get a yellow card in the space of a minute or so.
And I mentioned before, those centre-halves having to defend that space behind them. When you're going for the game, those two are some of the best at defending that space behind, but Gordon, Isak, Murphy, real pace there. He had to just get hold of Gordon because it was the wrong side of him, looked like he was going to get away. Will be tough for him to play the rest of this game on a yellow card as well, especially when you're trying to go for the game, playing that high line.
It's Hall with the free kick. Trossard. Tonali. Good challenge, Burn on Havertz. Kept in play on the far side by Trippier, which was a bonus. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, Isak. Timber scampering on, finding Ethan Nwaneri. Havertz is in the middle. Nwaneri almost found him. Botman did really well. Minimum of 5 added minutes at the end of the half, which is greeted with a little bit of a groan by the home fans. Much of that 5 for the VAR decision, which ruled out the early strike from Isak. Partey for Ødegaard. Rice couldn't squeeze it through. Bruno Guimaraes has it for Newcastle. He finds Isak. Gordon. Oh, Gordon's done well. And looks for goal. Always looked to be heading wide, but he's a player full of confidence as well.
Terrific bit of play. Just goes past Declan Rice, comes inside on that right foot. Only one thing in his mind, looking for that far corner, just doesn't quite get enough bend on it. But the way he gets away from Declan Rice there, like he said, is a man full of confidence.
He's added more goals to his game this season, has Anthony Gordon. Botman was put under pressure, fair pressure. Lewis Skelly trying to thread it through. Trippier very alive to that. Sandro Tonali. Gordon might have just timed this run. Isak is arriving in the middle. Gordon, well blocked by Saliba.
Terrific play again. Just notices the space in behind. It's a great ball in as well. Just faces Saliba at 1v1. Terrific defending from him. Just keeps Gordon going wide onto his left foot. Doesn't let him come back inside. Closes the angle. But Newcastle will take that.
He's probably just inside his own half when that ball was played. Therefore onside.
The way this game's panned out, it just really suited that Newcastle front three. They've got pace to burn and so much space in behind. Really testing Saliba and Gabriel.
Trippier's corner, Havertz got something on it, then so did Sven Botman. That's clattered away, Trippier underneath. Dubravka, who seems now to be fully recovered. Into the last minute of added time at the end of the half. Good block, Trippier.
They've answered all the questions defensively so far, Newcastle. Arsenal just need to try and move that ball a bit quicker, try and shift them out of their block.
Two balls on the pitch at the moment. Simon Hooper has to stop play.
All those little things are just getting Arsenal out of their rhythm. You know, Wanyeri's looked really bright since he's come on. Every time they've got the ball to him, he's been very direct, trying to get his man.
Here is Ødegaard. Partey. Ødegaard. And with those really quick feet. Dan Burn with a lunging kind of challenge.
Yeah, had to be a well-timed challenge there. Had to come out with the ball, ran the risk of giving away a pen, but timed it to perfection.
Hall pokes the ball out of play and then appeals vehemently for a throw-in that he knows will go Arsenal's way. Timber will take. Tonali and Partey arriving at the same time. Lewis Skelly using his body really well, and he's got the better of Kieran Trippier there, and then he's fouled by Bruno Guimaraes. And Simon Hooper says that'll do for the first half, and what a great first half it was as well. The only goal scored by Murphy in the 19th minute. Could be a penalty shootout, but if Arsenal are going to take it beyond the 90, then they need to... Raya for Rice. Gabriel. Trossard was caught a little bit late by Bruno Guimaraes, and the yellow card is out so quickly. It was like a conjurer.
Yeah, a bit of a late challenge, but I think Bruno there, he realised if Trossard got that pass away, Arsenal were out of the press and they were in trouble there, so he committed to the tackle. He tries to win the ball, but he's just stopped the play there as well. He's taken a yellow card for the team.
Simon Hooper was like the fastest drawer at the OK Corral there with that card.
And he's done really well so far. He's kept his cards in his pocket as much as he can. You know, the tempers have been flying, but he's reffed the game really well so far.
Trossard is still feeling that. Of course, Arsenal are a little bit short of forward players. I mean, the players that they actually have out there are all of a terrifically high standard, but there is no Gabriel Jesus, there is no Bukayo Saka, and they can ill afford Gabriel Martinelli already having gone off injured in the first half. They can ill afford for Leandro Trossard to pick up anything serious. I think he's going to be okay. Painful though.
Yeah, the impact on your heel, on your Achilles there, it's always a sore one. But doesn't look to be anything serious so far. He's back walking around. A little grimace, but you know, they want to keep him on the pitch.
They are already out of the FA Cup, as I was saying earlier, beaten by Manchester United in a penalty shootout in round 3. So if they do exit the Carabao Cup tonight, then it leaves them the Premier League title, which they could still win, but they're not favourites to win it, or the Champions League, which ditto they could win. But whoa, it's a mistake. Gordon wide. Oh, Saliba is so fortunate, so fortunate.
Very lucky there. He just tried to gamble there, just having a touch. Gordon realised he was going to take a touch, but it was always just curling away from goal. He'll feel that's a missed opportunity. That
it's actually a bad miss, isn't it? It just curls wide.
He was a long way out, but keeper's that far out, hits the target, he's got a goal.
Trossard sees it blocked by Trippier, and the second half has smashed back into the rhythm of the first, which is end-to-end, pacey, attacking, aggressive, really, really good football.
It has been end-to-end stuff from the first minute of the first half. Almost feels like a throwback game, Premier League game of old. You know, both teams really going for it, not too much methodical build-up play. It's been fast-paced from start to finish.
And Newcastle now having to defend, having seen that big chance go wide. In comes the corner kick. Dubravka with decent distance on the punch. Ranieri collecting for Arsenal and dropping it straight back into the mix. And it's headed behind by Murphy for an Arsenal corner.
Newcastle have defended these really well. Dubravka with a really good punch there, just relieving some pressure. But Arsenal, they really need to try and capitalise on the amount of corners and set pieces that they're having, because they haven't tested Dubravka too much from open play so far. So this is a way they can try and get themselves back in the game.
In goes that corner, deep toward the back post, and Dan Burn was covering and sees it behind for the goal kick. Well, Anthony Gordon will be reflecting on this, and Saliba will be wiping his brow in relief.
Yeah, you look again and Saliba really gets away with it. I think Gordon there, he sees Raya scurrying across his goal, so he's trying to find the corner, and it's just always curling away. That just bounce on the ball, the spin. just takes it away, but great chance for him to get a goal there.
Well, that might have been Wembley there, done and dusted. David Raya for Rice, surely, yes! Anthony Gordon has surely fired Newcastle into the final of the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal surely have shot themselves in the foot. 2-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate.
Such a shame. David Raya, you know, for all the good play that Arsenal have had on their builds, you know, it's a gift. Newcastle, you know, Gordon, he'll be thankful that he had that second chance to redeem himself after the one that he's missed. And you can see the elation there. They can feel Wembley.
Well, it's a great press by Fabian Schär on Declan Rice.
Makes you think. Fabian Schär, centre-half, pressing Declan Rice all the way up at the edge of the box, and it's a great challenge. David Raya trying to get that little bounce out just so they can jump out of the press. Gets the pass a bit wrong, falls kindly for Gordon there, and he makes no mistake this time. Dispatches it, slots it into the corner. Now there really is a mountain to climb for Arsenal.
And 35 minutes or so, maybe a little more, in which to climb it. But that is the last thing Arsenal needed, a goal so softly conceded. Two big errors in this second half, and they could have conceded from both of them. Newcastle have defended so well.
As far as game plans go, Eddie Howe's got this spot on. You know, they've defended in that low block when they've needed to, but when they've pressed, they've won the ball back up. You know, they've won the ball high so well. You know, you've got to take your hat off to them, because they've had to change their shape this evening. You know, losing Joel Linton as well has been a massive part of their team.
Well, they are now, Arsenal, trying to do something which has never been done, turning round a 4-goal deficit in a League Cup semi-final. Saliba with the header. Tonali's forward ball. I thought the flag would probably go up, and it has.
Arsenal really do like they're just running out of ideas of how to break down Newcastle. I said Dubravka really hasn't been tested all too much. You know, Odegaard with that big chance in the first half, just before the first goal goes in.
Here's Leandro Trossard. Trippier was in attendance. The little back heel is collected by Bruno Guimaraes, and he's been fouled by Leandro Trossard. It's a free kick to Newcastle. And over the two legs, you cannot think anything other than Newcastle are good value for this. They were brilliant at the Emirates. It's very rarely Arsenal are comfortably second best on home turf, but they were. And it's been a similar story tonight.
Yeah, they look like they've just got Arsenal's number, you know. They've got them just scratching their heads at how to stop them, how to break them down. You know, I mentioned the game plan that Eddie Howe set out for this game in particular. It's been spot on, it's worked to a T. They've been exposing the space in behind. You know, they've got pace to burn, and they're really using it. But when they've jumped on the press, you know, they've got that spot on as well. You can see Shah as well there.
Yeah.
In the picture.
Yeah.
Really high.
Tonali with the header, launched by Gabriel. Burn. And haul away. Gordon scrapping for it with Saliba, and he's won it as well, and Gabriel had to keep it from Bruno Guimaraes, and Rice finds Leandro Trossard. Trippier in very, very quickly. It's been Kieran Trippier at his best tonight.
It has. He looks so pumped up and fired up for the game. He's defended so well. You can just see whole of that Newcastle back line just defended in unison.
Odegaard and Partey and Odegaard. Little deep ball in by Martin Odegaard. Kai Havertz going to ground far too easily. Bruno Guimaraes going to ground because Partey put him there. I think Sandro Tonali was asking Simon Hooper to book Thomas Partey.
And just once again relieving the pressure. But Arsenal just can't find a way through that Newcastle defence. They're crossing the ball in every time. They're just defending it so comfortably, Newcastle. Arsenal starting to really look at, sixes and sevens there.
Mikel Merino is going to be coming on shortly. Last time Arsenal played on this ground in this competition, 14.5 years ago, they won 4-0. Well, they're going to have to reproduce that in half an hour or so, just to take it to extra time. Not sure if Kai Havertz has got a free kick here or not. Well, I can tell now he hasn't.
It's a great spot by David Raya. Just that sidewinder just gets Havertz straight down the middle. But you can just see the Newcastle shirts just closing in on him. Would have been harsh if he gave a free kick against Hall there. And he's recovered really well. Trippier pumped up. Tells Havertz what he thinks of
yes,
of him while he's down there as well.
He scored 15 goals this season, Kai Havertz, and yet there's still that feeling that Arsenal need an Isak or someone similar. Who doesn't? Newcastle don't, because they've got one. Here he is, cutting inside and getting the shot away.
Just peeling his run again. Cuts inside. Saliba just can't get a grip of him there, but he's playing with such confidence. He's just picking his gaps. He's keeping his runs timed really well. Just utilising all that space in behind that Arsenal are giving that forward line.
This is a Newcastle side who've lost their last 2 home games, remember, heavily to Bournemouth and then narrowly at the weekend to Fulham, who came from behind to win. Tonali, has he run that out of play? I think he has. Yeah, looked like it. Arsenal are making a substitution here, and a double change. Raheem Sterling is coming on for Leandro Trossard, and Mikel Merino is going to replace Martin Odegaard. Well, Merino's a fine player, but Odegaard is the unlocker of safes supreme, really. Well, it's fresh legs, something different.
Yeah, that indeed. I think they recognise what they're doing at the moment, it's just not working. So they're just going to try and bring on different profile of players, try and do something different. Can they unlock that defence?
In goes that corner kick, and it's headed behind by Murphy, who scored the first goal. This is not the Jacob Murphy that Newcastle loaned out to West Bromwich Albion and Sheffield Wednesday. Well, it is, but it doesn't look like him. In comes the corner. Punched by Dubravka. Byrne helping it on its way as a break on here. Bruno Guimaraes in the direction of Isak, who has reached it. And Declan Rice was alive to the possibilities and snuffed them out.
And that's one thing Isak, he brings, as well as the goals that he contributes to the team, just that pace, just to get the team up the pitch, you know, relieving pressure, that genuine, you know, real pace that just get away from people.
Fabian Schär with the forward ball. Saliba. Gabriel's header. Havertz competing with Schär. And just a little arm in the back of Fabian Schär. Botman for Newcastle. With added time, there might be only half an hour or so to go. Gordon has been dispossessed. Nwaneri taking on Dan Byrne, whipping an inviting ball across the face of Dubravka. No one in the middle for him.
Does really well there, just taking on Dan Byrne. Gets down the outside, that little change of pace. Whips an inviting ball, and that's just where, you know, when Arsenal fans talk about having another striker, another number 9, that's where you want him. Just there to nod those balls in. Flashes across the 6-yard box, out for a throw.
He's Partey. Timber. Nwaneri back inside to Timber. Lewis Skelly. Raheem Sterling. Old England teammate Trippier in front of him. Gabriel with the ball into the box, just skimmed off the head of Kai Havertz. Timber will go and collect it.
Arsenal trying to be patient, just working the ball around the final third, but Newcastle just looks so comfortable, so many numbers behind the ball.
And the pace then to charge clear. This time it's Gordon. Just about eliminating risk, isn't it, really, for Newcastle, if they can now?
That's it, and the way they're going about it, you know, is perfect for them.
Bruno Guimaraes. Murphy would have been offside.
But they've picked and choose when they want to come out of that block, when they want to press. And then they just spring into life on the counter. So much pace. And it's just caused Arsenal all sorts of problems today.
Havertz. Botman got a challenge in. It's Mikel Merino. Who would have been a colleague of Alexander Isak's at Real Sociedad, the Arsenal substitute. Mikel Merino, they would have played together there.
Sure, there's a few Arsenal fans hoping that they could make them teammates again.
Yeah, I bet there are. Take a lot of money. That's going to be a corner kick off the foot of Trippier. Almost halfway through the second half of the second leg, and Newcastle with a big advantage here.
Even though they've conceded a few corners today, they just don't look like conceding, from open play or set pieces.
In goes the latest, Dan Burn with the header. Waneri with a little touch on it. Mikel Merino for Timber. It's Gabriel, and it's out of play for another corner. It does help when you're defending set pieces if you've got a guy who's 6'7", I think he is, in Dan Burn.
Like I said, those centre-halves there, they're all big lads, but Dan Burn is, he's a giant of a man. He's got the job of man-marking Gabriel, Arsenal's biggest threat.
Simon Hooper has done really well so far in what probably hasn't been the easiest game to referee. It's certainly been high octane, high stakes, you'd expect that. Bruno Guimaraes does need to be careful. You do need at least to make a pretense of watching the ball as the corner comes in. Raheem Sterling got a head on it. Partey. Murphy out to Isak. And out to play off Declan Rice.
There's just no way through at the moment. These corners, they're defending them so well, whether it's someone heading it away, but Dubravka a few times just punching the ball away. And then they've got those people on the edge of the box just to get them away, get the pressure away from goal.
And you're absolutely right, we've played an hour and 10 minutes more or less, and Dubravka's made one save worthy of note, really. Good one, but only one.
Yeah, it was a smart save, but he just hasn't been worked, but he's had to stay concentrated on the set pieces and, punches away. But, Arsenal won't be happy with, the amount of work that they've, not made him do tonight.
It's all home noise. Hall helped on by Gordon, lovely little 1-2. Isak back into Anthony Gordon. Well, Isak will sprint here. Look at how he makes up the yards on Saliba, who's dealt with it well, but he started off about 7 or 8 metres behind him and he finished up about 1 behind him.
Clever foul from Botman there, but it's been a tough job. Saliba's had a tough night there against that front three. And he's at that pace. It's just, like I said, it was probably another 10-15 metres. It looked like he was going to catch it.
Here's Declan Rice. Partey. Lewis Skelly. Flicking off Rice, but Gordon is there. Tonali. Kai Havertz. Dan Burn is across, good challenge. Havertz has got practically nothing out of Newcastle's back line. Ranieri to the byline, and good defending by Anthony Gordon.
He's doubled up every single time Ranieri's got the ball. He's been back helping Lewis Hall, and he realised there Ranieri's away from Byrne, and Hall gets back in, and it's great defending from him.
Yeah, no wonder Eddie Howe was applauding him. Well, whoever it is who breaks Newcastle's very, very, very long trophy drought may well find themselves cast in bronze outside this stadium at some point. Dubravka is down again. He had a problem in the first half with his left boot, or left foot, being trodden upon, and it would appear as though something similar has happened.
I'm not sure if it's foot or his ankle, but definitely didn't look too happy there.
Nick Pope has had a knee injury. He is back. He last played on December the 7th against Brentford.
Dubravka's having a good game as well, just a lot of those clearances. His distribution up the pitch has been very good.
It's just when he cleared that, isn't it? When Dubravka fired that away down field. Oh, we're looking at the goal, actually. He did limp out of it, but we're looking at the goal. Goals, I mean, so avoidable from Arsenal's point of view.
Yeah, so avoidable. And, you know, they're persisting with trying to play out, but, you know, the pressure, when Newcastle have jumped on that high press, they've done it so well. And, you know, it's Fabian Schär we mentioned. You know,
what is he doing there?
Well, that's the thing. When you've obviously they've got the three centre-halves playing, so they're giving up an extra man in midfield. So it's one of those centre-halves jobs to jump in on someone in the midfield when they're doing the high press, and that's his job. And he stuck to his task all the way.
High from Hall. Partey's header. Ranieri. That cannoning back into the path of Declan Rice. Rice's forward run. Ranieri managing to keep it alive. Marino, and then Dubravka behind the shot from Ethan Ranieri. It's a routine save, really, for Dubravka. But it is a shot on target for Arsenal. They haven't had many.
They're finally trying to get at that Newcastle back line with a bit of pace, not letting them trying to get set back into that low block. Managed to get a shot away, but one that Dubravka comfortably saves.
It is only their second shot on target in the game. Tonali's done pretty well there. And he draws the foul from Thomas Partey, who couldn't resist. Oh no, he's not given it. It's a throw-in only.
And that's good work from Tonali, but did look like he kicked through him, but referee saying he won the ball.
Anthony Gordon. Marino. Havertz. Newcastle with the throw-in. 15 minutes to play. 15 minutes away from another Wembley final. Lost the 1976 League Cup final to Manchester City. A Dennis Chewett overhead kick. Lost the 23 League Cup final to Manchester United. They're their only two League Cup final appearances. Here come Arsenal. Bruno Guimaraes didn't seem to get a huge amount of the ball there. Lewis Hall for Anthony Gordon. Ah, he's done brilliantly, Gordon. That's a decent ball. Havertz on the side, I think, but into the gloves of Dubravka. Well, Anthony Gordon, I mean, he always looked a good player at Everton, didn't he? He looked a really good player at Everton, but he just seems to fit at Newcastle, and he's just kicked on so much.
He has, and he's got such good qualities, you know, the pace that he has. He wants to be direct. But you mentioned it there, he just fits into the forward line here, the way that Eddie Howe wants him to play. He looks like he feels at home, like he's enjoying his football. You know, they're getting the best out of him.
Arsenal have the throw-in. Dan Burn with a crack on the right knee. I think it's going to be a double Arsenal change. And he's second.
And Arsenal just look like they've just lacked just that bit of urgency. You know, the times when they could have just got out the defence. Just no real belief. You know, the wind was knocked out of their sails early on in this game, and they just haven't seemed to have recovered.
So Partey and Timber are replaced by Jorginho and Calafiori. Jorginho, who may well be leaving Arsenal in the summer. Reports that a pre-contract agreement with Flamengo in Brazil has been worked upon. Calafiori is on and into the action. And here's Raheem Sterling. Gabriel's ball into the box, chested down. Saliba. Here is Calafiori. Sterling darting outside of Kieran Trippier. Murphy's back. And both wide men have done that.
They've recognised their responsibilities. They've doubled up every time. They've seen when their teammates need help. It's been a great team performance from Newcastle defensively. There's a lot of negative connotations with the low block. But they played it to a T tonight.
Arsenal's corner overhit. Even their corner kicks have unravelled. Newcastle now making a couple of changes. With Murphy making way, got the first goal. Really good performance again from Murphy. Joe Willock, former Arsenal man, coming on to enjoy the closing stages of the game against his former club, and Sven Botman is replaced by Emil Kraft.
Newcastle, to a man, have been superb. They know there's no way back for Arsenal now unless something miraculous happens. So getting minutes into some of the other lads, resting some of the other boys as well, saving their legs.
Joe Willock, who came through at Arsenal, broke into the first team, played 78 games for the first team before moving on to Newcastle, where he made an incredible early impression. I don't know if you remember, he scored something like about 6 goals in his first 10 for Newcastle. He's been a little bit on the fringes this season, but he'll enjoy this opportunity to play against his old club in these circumstances for sure. Calafiori round the corner for Rice. Good block by Bruno Guimaraes. Gordon beaten to it by Calafiori. Gabriel. Jorginho's scoop. Dan Burn on Havertz. It wasn't the most pretty challenge you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a risky one. He just gets hold of Havertz. Havertz giving him a bump before. I think the referee recognises that. Yeah, it would have been a harsh penalty had he given it.
Well, Arsenal have only failed to score a goal in one match in this calendar year, and that was the first leg of this semi-final.
And they really, apart from those moments in the first half, they really haven't looked like scoring for the entirety of this game either. They've just ran out of ideas, and the deep crosses cleared away every time from Newcastle.
Unlike Arsenal, Newcastle are still in the FA Cup. They go to St Andrews against in-form League One promotion hopefuls Birmingham City at the weekend. Jorginho. Shared back peddling with a header, Bruno Guimaraes. Was caught after the ball had gone by Jorginho. Or was it Lewis Skelly? The referee is going to get the card out.
Yeah, plenty of frustration between the Arsenal players, but superb once again. Those two midfielders as well from Newcastle. The energy that they've exerted tonight, and that's, to play a two-man midfield against Arsenal anyway is tough. But they've got around the pitch so well. Real quality in the defensive actions and the forward play as well. Real captain's performance as well from Bruno.
And now Raheem Sterling has talked himself into the book, along with Lewis Skelly, who fouled himself into the book. Joe Willock just beaten to it by Declan Rice. Sterling slipped at an unfortunate moment. Here's Willock. Kieran Trippier. Bruno Guimaraes, spinning ball, Willock. Good cross, headed away well by Mikel Merino. Lewis Hall was arriving with intent. The whistle's gone. Offside is the decision.
The energy that Newcastle just getting around the pitch, just swarming back. Anytime Arsenal break on them, you can just see someone's looking to give away the foul high up the pitch. They can get there, they're just desperate to get the tackle in.
It's Raheem Sterling. Sandro Tonali getting away from a challenge from Jorginho, finding Anthony Gordon. Tonali was knocked over off the ball. Gordon's found Willock, and well covered by Lewis Skelly. Simon Hooper's not inclined to go back to whatever happened to Tonali.
Yeah, not content with staying down, he's back up.
Sterling. Here's Calafiori. And Kai Havertz, decent hit, Trippier in the way. And Rice lunging into a challenge. That'll be a free kick and possibly a yellow card. Bruno Guimaraes is orchestrating the crowd as if they needed it.
challenge probably sums up Arsenal's night, just pure frustration.
I don't think he got a yellow card for that. I suspect, having watched it again, that he might be a bit fortunate not to have done so.
Yeah, he's got away with a couple there, just seeing the shoulder charge on Tonali as well off the ball. He's been very frustrated tonight. Those two Newcastle midfielders have been excellent.
Here's a welcome sight for Newcastle fans. Callum Wilson coming on, has made only 4 appearances this season, all of them as a substitute, injured for much of the campaign. But he'll come on for Isak as Tonali makes way for Longstaff, and the ovation for Isak will be long and loud.
They've both put in terrific performances tonight. They give everything. But Isak just leading that line, so explosive. And here's a man, when he's at his best, is explosive as well. Can lead the line, so they'll be happy to have him back.
Yeah, he's another goal-scoring option. His record of goals at Newcastle is extremely good, just a little shy of 1 every other game. Injuries have curtailed this season completely thus far, but there might be a rather nice last 3 months in Callum Wilson's season.
Trippier once again getting involved.
Lewis Skelly once again getting involved. Doesn't seem to mind. That's picked off as well by Dan Burn. Bruno Guimaraes. Rice with a challenge which put Bruno Guimaraes off his stride slightly.
And this time it was big Dan Burn's turn to step in on one of the midfielders and win the ball back for the team. Like I said, Guimaraes, not quite a shot tackle. I think he was expecting a bit of contact with Rice there.
Declan Rice with a delicate little ball. Trippier with a volleyed clearance downfield. Marino's touch. Jorginho for Gabriel. But Arsenal are just going through the motions at the moment. A well-beaten side, and they have been for some time. They continue to look for a consolation, knowing that it would only be that. Flag has stayed down, and Dubravka saved at his near post from Rice.
That was the sharpest Arsenal have looked probably all night, to be fair.
Well, we're going to find out fairly soon from 4th official Thomas Bramall how much added time there will be. Most certainly not enough to salvage anything for Arsenal, just enough to keep the celebrations around St James's Park going. Dubravka will want his clean sheet. It's Rice with the corner. It's a bad miss. Lewis Skelly has headed well over the crossbar from about 2 meters here.
Yeah, it looked like the ball was just slightly above him, but he rose well. Free header. It's the only free header Arsenal have had all evening. And inside that 6-yard box, you know, they would have been hoping for a Gabriel on the end of that.
Yeah, I suspect had it been Gabriel on the end of that, it might have been 2-1 and 4-1. There are a minimum of 4 added minutes. Longstaff here for Newcastle. Newcastle upon Tyne is the city in which football completely dominates the sporting landscape, in which St James's Park completely dominates the architectural landscape. And it will be all but empty on March the 16th, because everybody will be either in or around Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt, and no one can argue that they thoroughly deserve it. You know, Bruno coming off, already said he gave a real captain's performance. He's been superb. Him and Tonali in there. You know, they ran the midfield, really controlled it.
A few minutes for Lewis Miley. Who actually became Newcastle's youngest Premier League player ever just after his 17th birthday, when in May of 2023 he played on the last day of the season at Chelsea. Lewis Hall, Callum Wilson in the middle. That would cap things, wouldn't it, for the home fans, if Callum Wilson got a goal on his return from injury. But Hall can't quite get the better of Calafiori, and it's a foul by Fabian Schär on Kai Havertz, and a yellow card for Fabian Schär.
A few of those Arsenal players really showing their frustrations throughout this game, but I'm sure they're more frustrated with themselves because they just haven't done enough. Haven't done enough for this whole game, haven't moved the ball quick enough, haven't worked. Dubravka on the other side. It's been a real defensive masterclass by Newcastle, how to spring from a low block straight into attack.
Here's Rice. He's had to just tread carefully since he had a rather aggressive couple of minutes not so long ago. Little cross comes in, that's charged down by Lewis Hall from Kai Havertz. Arsenal will have one last corner. Well, Arsenal have been so good in the 5 years under Mikel Arteta. It feels like just one FA Cup win in that time is a scant reward for how good they've been and how much they've improved in those 5 years. So to go out in a semi-final, desperate disappointment for them.
Yeah, and I think they'll be disappointed in the manner, you know, that they've gone out over the course of the 2 legs.
They've certainly been second best. Not to say that they couldn't win the Premier League or they couldn't win the Champions League. But if it is another trophyless season for Arsenal, there will be a lot of frustration around the Emirates. But the rest is just about Newcastle's celebration. Havertz still can't get the better of Schär and Trippier. He's been outstanding, Trippier, hasn't he? Brilliant.
Outstanding.
And there it is. Newcastle United are through to the Carabao Cup final. In the end, in comprehensive fashion. Arsenal outplayed twice and beaten 2-0 twice. Newcastle, good value for it at the Emirates and good value for it at St James's Park too. Great disappointment for Arsenal and for Mikel Arteta, but Adrian Mariappa, how good have Newcastle been over these 2 games?
Yeah, sensational. You know, to go to the Emirates and get the result they did, but to play tonight in the manner they did as well. People were questioning how they come out. Would they sit off Arsenal? They really took the game to them early on, and then their game plan, sitting in that low block, they managed to control the game and were just catching Arsenal on the break at will.